Part 4. So, in this one, I'm finally going to talk about the muscular issues and then the digestive issues. So quickly about the muscular issues, it's nothing super crazy. Because again, repeat myself, people with EDS and hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is what I have, with EDS, your body does not produce collagen properly, and collagen affects basically every system in your body. It's one of the building blocks of your body. And, yeah. So that affects, obviously, also your internal organs and your muscle tissue. With the muscle tissue, the only thing I really wanted to bring up is something called hypotonia. So if you have muscular hypotonia, that means your muscles are always, and this is ironic, always in the most relaxed state possible. So, you know how some people can work out and they'll develop like muscle tone, even at ease, they have a 6-pack and defined pectorals. I could never do that. I have like such severe muscle hypotonia that I am just flappy. Like, I'm also overweight, and I know that. This isn't me writing off the fact that I could stand to lose about 30 pounds. But I'm very strong. My doctor's always surprised at how strong I am because I don't look like I have any muscle tone. I have tons of muscle knots, like I said in a couple videos ago, in my shoulders, in my back, in my legs. I get really bad muscle knots because my tendons do not want to hold my joints together, so my muscles have to take over that strain. But when I am laying at ease, relaxed, I just hang. Like, my flesh is very loose. God, this is so weird to talk about, but it is. So, you know, I hate the way my face hangs. Like, I have stretch marks like you would not freaking believe. Which is, honestly, it's very embarrassing to me. And it's just the fact that, like, the way my face hangs, the way my jowls are with the double chin and all that stuff, like, that really bothers me. Nothing I can do about it, but that's due to the muscle hypotonia. So I basically just look flappy, and there's nothing I can do about it. So moving on from that, into internal organs, we're going from the inside out, or outside in, or whatever the hell I'm talking about. Organs. Organ. It's fun to say, and people could take it wrong if they wanted to. This isn't really anything to joke about because it's one of the things that pisses me off most about being defective is that I have a lot of digestive issues, and I also have issues with my lady parts, my ovaries and things. So basically, again, EDS, you don't properly produce collagen. That also affects your internal organs. So I have some food allergies, not a whole ton, thankfully, but I have to be careful kind of about what I put in my body. This is the hardest thing for me to do because I love food, I love to eat, and I love junk food, like fast food, like anything like that. Oh my gosh, the greasier the better, and it makes me so freaking sick. So basically, I'm constantly making myself sick because I can't stop shoving junk food in my face. But yeah, so for some people, and I am so freaking lucky that this isn't me, but for some people, they have to have a feeding tube because they deal with gastroparesis. So basically, your whole digestive tract ends up being paralyzed, and you cannot actively consume food. These people are the real badasses here. Like, they have to have the feeding tube and a special solution that they're putting in their body to keep their body running. I'm very grateful that that's not me, that I'm just constantly, it's basically like having irritable bowel syndrome, which is what they thought I had, which it kind of is. Anytime I put food in, I can basically immediately expect food to want to come out. I'm constantly nauseous. I always have stomach cramps. Again, I have to be careful about not eating too much at once, which I'm really bad at because it'll make me super sick and super bloated and super nauseous. And then there's some days where I can't eat at all. There's some days I'll be good and I'll eat like breakfast, lunch, and dinner and I'll pack it down and I'll be okay. And then there's some days where I just can't eat. I have to get like the Slim Fast drinks or the fruit smoothies or something because if I try to put solid food in, I'm just in so much pain and I'll throw up, and I hate throwing up so much with a passion. Or I'll just be sitting on the toilet all day with just such bad cramps. That's kind of the hardest, not the hardest, but one of the hardest things for me to deal with because internal pain is weird. Like, you can't see what's going on. If I dislocate a joint, I can see it. If I eat something that my stomach decides is not going to be acceptable, I can't see what's going on. I just know that I'm in a shit ton of pain and that there's really nothing I can do about it until it decides to come out one end or the other. Again, I'm super freaking lucky I don't have to deal with severe gastroparesis like some people. I just have to go back. I go back and forth between I can eat solid food, I can't eat solid food. I am constipated for 3 days, or I shit 12 times a day. Like, to put it plainly, it's always one or the other. And then again, I have, they assumed I had polycystic ovarian syndrome. It turns out my right ovary, basically the entire thing is a giant cyst. And there's nothing they can really do about that. It's just either going to go away or rupture or not. But it's very painful. And it puts pressure on my intestines. And I also have endometriosis. But I have, like, highly, again, this is, if you don't want to talk about lady part stuff, if it grosses you out or triggers you or whatever, like, stop watching now, because the last minute or so is going to be about lady issues. So anyway, so don't have exactly a regular cycle. My body decides to start bleeding whenever it feels like it, which is extremely annoying and inconvenient. Occasionally, I've had cysts rupture, and it's really sucks, and I can't function at that point. It's happened at work a couple times, and I just end up sitting in the bathroom for like half an hour just waiting for the bleeding to slow down and hoping for the best. It's just extremely inconvenient because I do tend to hemorrhage whenever my body decides that it wants to do its cycle. It's very inconvenient. When I was a little kid, it started when I was 9, I'd have to stay home for that week because there was just I couldn't function. I was basically chained to the bathroom for a few days until my body stopped being such a jerk. That's probably the second most frustrating thing to me, is having to deal with the bleeding and the hemorrhaging and the cysts and the severe cramps and the pain, because I'm very active. I like to work. I like to be at work. I don't like to have to get stuck sitting down. But if you are hemorrhaging and cramping so bad that your legs aren't going to work, then you're kind of fucked. Like, you have to sit down, and I hate that. So that's extremely frustrating to me, in case you can't tell by my ranting. I don't like being female. It sucks. I would not recommend it. 0 out of 5 stars. So there's that. So anyway, that's kind of that little bit. I'm going to make one more video, and it's going to be about the most effing aggravating part of all of this, and that is these. So I will see you guys in part 5.